What's up everybody, it's your boy CB back after another video. In this video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make yourself the best HUD possible based on your own preferences and your own personality for your HUD and kind of what you want to do with yours, because everyone's different and everyone has a different HUD that would be best for them. And I'm going to give you tips on how I made mine and how you can make yours. So the first part of this video is just going to be showing some of the things that I can do because of my HUD, which I wouldn't be able to do without a HUD that works well. So first off, you'll notice that the build button, the jump button, the aim button, like the shoot button, the edit button, those are like my big buttons. And you want to make sure that those buttons are definitely the biggest, because you don't want to hit them because they're the most important buttons. The other thing you'll notice is where I have certain things. So like I have that slot on the far left above the shoot button, because that's where I put my heels, so I don't need that to be in a spot where I can tap it quickly, because if I'm healing, it's not going to be like in the middle of I'm not going to be building up or battling someone or whatever if I'm healing, so it's not important to be able to hit it quickly, so that's why it's over there. Whereas like the guns and where I place the builds, like where you tap the builds, those are all on that side where it's easy to touch. So when you see my HUD, you'll see that there's a bunch of buttons on that right side in the middle. Almost none of those buttons I touch. They don't even show up in game. The only ones are the jump button, the aim button, and then there's like a couple buttons for like the helicopter and to like get out of vehicles. But the majority of those are just like a mess that I never touch. I also notice how I have every single build I can immediately do with one press. I have it preset like most people do, so that when you go to build, the walls are the first thing. So that when I tap the build button, it always goes to walls, but I can always just tap on the stair button, the cone button, or the floor button, so I can do a replace for any of those without having to press multiple buttons. So I wouldn't have to press the build and then the stair. I could just go straight to the stair, or straight to the floor, or straight to the cone. Another thing I think is important is that I have the buttons like the ping button and the heal builds button in a place that aren't the most important spots on the screen, but are also manageable to touch if necessary. So like I wouldn't want to have those buttons in like the dead center where my finger's going to be, because I'd be hitting it the most. Like you want to have the buttons you're hitting the most where your fingers are most comfortable, and if you have buttons that are far away and you have to like stretch to hit them, those should be ones you're not hitting very often. Because my HUD is not like a perfect HUD that you should all copy exactly, but it gives like a baseline of how you could set yours up. Like a lot of people have their building and weapons, like their inventory slots on the other side, and that's fine. But you just want to make sure you have your other buttons in like places that make it accessible, knowing that it's there, because you don't want to have certain things you have to be pressing at the same time to have the same finger needing to do that. So like I wouldn't want to have my jump button down on the bottom right, like where because that's how I aim around and move, and you're going to want to be able to move around and jump with two different fingers. This is also a 4-finger HUD, but if you guys are using 6, I'm sure it would be similar. If you're using 2, I recommend switching to 4, but you can definitely make 2 work. There are plenty of good 2-finger players, but it's just way harder and kind of just unnecessarily harder. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. If you guys have questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to help and answer any questions you have. And I hope this was helpful in some way. If it was, please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.